they came from people, okay? In other words, they bought those bonds. Now the question is, where the hell did that money come from? The purpose of it was to flood the system with money, to keep interest rates low, to try to keep the stock market up, to try to devalue the dollar so that the United States could export more. So there are definitely more dollars out there. Okay, not all of them are printed. Some of them they may have taken out of other funds, I'm not sure. But the net effect is the same as if they had printed. There's more dollars out there that are floating around, and this is I mean, they can't keep doing that. They can't keep putting more and more dollars into the system. And and it also is doing very little good. I mean, it's keeping interest rates low, it's true. It's not keeping the stock market up. Maybe it has provided a support, but not a very good one to the stock market. And it has helped on exports. The United States exports, at least last month, increased dramatically. So because of the value of the dollar being lower, it's cheaper to buy American products now than it was some half a year ago or a year ago. So I mean, it's not a sustainable answer. You can't keep doing this, because eventually you swamp the system with too much dollars, with too many dollars in there.
Why aren't there Magdoffs in prison?
Oh, why are there more Magdoffs? Well, Magdoff, by the way, I was very happy that at least one letter separated his name from my name. When I first looked at it, I said, oh my God, there's somebody from our family. There's very few Magdoffs, you know, but there are a few others, not many, and most of them I don't know. They're distant relatives, Magdoffs.
Why aren't our ones in prison?
I know that. I'm going to get to that. Okay. So he had. I mean, there's what he had is different than what a lot of other banks were doing in the United States. Now, a lot of them I think should have gone to prison. Very few bankers in the United States, almost none, have gone to prison. Madoff wasn't a banker, by the way. He was a hedge fund manager. But he was the manager of a special type of hedge fund, which was a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes are illegal. There's laws against them. It was all based on having to take in more and more money in order to pay out the other people. You're not investing the money. So the pyramid schemes have to end. There's no way they can go on forever. His just went on for an incredibly long time. Even though there was reasons, I mean, there was some evidence around that something was wrong. That was actually, you know, against a major law. And it was huge also. The bankers in the United States, many of whom should have gone to prison, the people from Q+A, which was basically a mortgage originator, those people should be in prison. They knew that they were turning out these mortgages that were worthless. The rating agencies, like Moody's and Standard & Poor's, they took garbage and they turned it into what's called AAA. They took stuff that was absolute garbage and they turned it into AAA. And they had reasoning behind it as to how they could do it, which I could explain to you, which is based on false mathematical model, which had nothing to do with reality. And I would say maybe some of those guys should go to prison too. But the whole system is there to protect these people. So Madoff is just an egregious example when you have a pyramid scheme. But I have no objection to more of them going to jail. And the amazing thing is how few people in the United States have gone to jail.
The last question we're going to answer is about it, because I think we've...
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think, one thing I think I learned from my father was that the struggle never ends. And it goes on. And we have to keep organizing, and we have to keep educating people and to agitating and doing whatever we can. This is a struggle which is going to go on for a very long period of time, and it has gone on for a long time. By the way, a fascinating book which I haven't completed rereading, but I will, is Jack London's book, The Iron Heel. If you haven't read it, it is an amazing book, and some of the things you'd say, my God, you know, this guy, it's like he wrote it, you know, relatively recently. He's not talking about this crisis, but it's written from like 1,000 years in the future, And it's looking back at this diary that was left behind in the struggle, for workers, for socialist society. And it's a fascinating book, but it gives you some feeling this is not, I think many of us have the feeling, or many people have the feeling, well, oh yes, we can get rid of capitalism pretty easily, and it's clearly an unjust system, and workers are going to see that, and will overthrow it. And that is clearly not going to happen without a tremendous amount of organization. One of the reasons, by the way, for writing this book that John and I had was to try to gain access to the environmental community. Because we have a lot of people who are sort of on the left in the United States who abhor the word socialism. They don't want to talk about capitalism because they don't really know what it means. And anyway, capitalism is a little bit dirty, but they don't know why, but it is the system we live under, and they can't conceive of any other system. It's inconceivable. And so part of our doing this, the idea was to try to get to people whose major concern was the environment and say, listen, your struggle is our struggle. The workers' struggle is our struggle. All of these struggles are together. It's the system that is causing this. It's the capitalist system that's causing it. And we need a different system. We need a socialist system. And so I think we do have to do organizing. There's plenty of work to be done in the United States, I know, and there's plenty to be done here, and I know there's a lot going on. But it's the struggle is a long one.
I think it's a very good note to end on, really. And we've only gone 10 minutes over time. I'd like to thank again. Professor Magdoff for coming here. I would particularly like to thank the People's Movement. I've said already that they've kept me going and they keep a lot of other people going. I want to thank them for their newsletter and what they send out to us. It takes a tremendous amount of work and they deserve a round of applause. Again, and I'm going to quote again from his obituary in relation to the man that we're celebrating here tonight, and I think it's a good note to end on. He said, while one might devote oneself to a cause like socialism or Irish freedom, and indeed Irish freedom is very topical again, given the fact that we're being ruled by a tricep, and fights which go on after one's lifetime, there is absolutely no reason why one should not enjoy oneself while doing so. So have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your holiday. Thank you very much.